Hi, this is your host Apil Bhartia, and we are back with our yearly video prediction series. And today we have with us Bianca Lewis, Executive Director of OpenSearch Software Foundation. Before I ask you to grab your crystal ball and share your predictions with us, please quickly remind our viewers what is OpenSearch Software Foundation all about and what core problem is it going to solve as we head into 2026.
First of all, Swapnil, great to be here and part of the series. So really looking forward to chatting with you for a few minutes about some predictions. So OpenSearch Software Foundations, for all of you who are maybe a bit less familiar, is a vendor-neutral home for the OpenSearch platform to ensure that the community have a sustainable project which can be completely open source and available, and of course maintain its great momentum in innovation.
Now it's time for you to pick your crystal ball and share your top predictions or major shifts that you expect to see in the industry this year.
I really think that 2026 is going to be a really exciting year. You know, I was looking a few days ago at 2025 and the landscape of databases, and the one pattern which came through over and over again was that every database today is a vector database and a vector search database. Even the old legacy databases seem to bolt on vectors in some form or another. So it's really table stakes because everyone can offer that in terms of abilities. So I believe prediction number one is going to be the year of agent-ready databases. I think that in addition to that, AI agents are really going to drive 2026. Now, of course, the outcome is to make things more predictable and to make sort of more production-grade deployment patterns so that we can plan our resources. But just practically in the area of search, today on vectors, we can search for ask ChatGPT or an application, I want comfortable shoes. And it'll give us results of shoes and the vectors to the side of that. If I use an agent for that, it's going to go beyond that. And the agent is going to be able to access systems external to the search. So it's going to access things like my Chrome history. It's going to say, what shoes did I buy in the past? What shoes did I return that weren't comfortable? And it's going to be able to, in the IT environment, just go that step further this year. The next prediction is the fact that the more things change, the more things will be the same. We've got, obviously, the vector search. We've got agentic AI now. We've got hybrid search, et cetera, et cetera. The traditional lexical keyword search is still going to be very foundational. And people will realize that in 2026. And the analogy I draw there is when we invented the wheel, and then we, many years later, got to the automobile, the bicycle, the automobile, the airplane, the space shuttle. Those wheels are still foundational. Our abilities have obviously changed and the nature of the wheels have changed and evolved, but the keyword search is still going to be foundational for bringing us accurate results and scalability. So I think that that's going to be key. I think also that what was going to happen here is companies were using AI in a very unstructured way up until now. Teams were using it individually. We know it increases productivity, but it was less organized. It was less systematic to make things more predictable, more strategic, to use it as business drivers. And I really think that this is the year that enterprises are going to be much more strategic about expanding and increasing productivity with AI instead of just individual contributors to produce more. I think one of the major predictions that I would still want to cover is that in terms of when it comes to LLMs, bigger is not always better, okay? Um, it's not about the size of the data. It's about the data quality. It's about the context of that data. And it's about the ability for us to trust the data that it returns. So it's more about the data layer that's accessible to the LLMs and tools like vector search, but also retrieval augmented generation RAG. Is really redefining our ability to minimize hallucinations and to power what the quality of insights and business drivers that LLMs can give us. Another prediction, of course, is 2026 is going to be the year where we're going to advance really quickly. We're going to have a lot of agentic AI, and we're going to be playing catch up on developing an infrastructure that is not just capable of supporting this new speed of innovation on AI, but can also keep costs at a reasonable level and to deal with that challenge.
What are some of the biggest challenges or bottlenecks organizations will face when they try to adapt to these changes?
Yes, challenges are all over. It's a lot of change in corporate identities to be more strategic. Definitely a key part was the last prediction that I had in terms of infrastructure to support this massive growth in AI agents, to ensure that we can maximize the benefit from there. And of course, specifically to OpenSearch, one of the biggest challenges that companies are going to face is getting the maximum value from the data that is already in OpenSearch. As you know, OpenSearch is a Swiss Army knife of data platforms that we can use for multiple different use cases. And very often, I think one of the challenges is companies are figuring out that if we're going to use OpenSearch for our observability platform, then maybe we can use that same data which already exists in the organization for other use cases like enterprise search or an AI application and things like that.
These challenges also create opportunities. What are some of the biggest opportunities that will arise from these
Yeah,
challenges?
it will force companies to become more efficient, more predictable, because there are so many new innovations coming very, very quickly. And it's only a matter of time until companies are realizing that specific proprietary or niche vendors can solve specific challenges. But there is a massive opportunity for OpenSearch to provide a much broader solution for these enterprise companies as an open source platform that can be used on a wide range of use cases and can do them really, really well, free of any vendor lock-in, because it's completely owned by the community. So the opportunities that companies can really build a wide range of capabilities to scale with the innovation.
What advice do you have for enterprises, developers, project leaders, entrepreneurs? What should they start doing now to be ready for 2026?
Great question. I'm completely biased because I'm executive director of OpenSearch. But my strongest advice to leaders this year is ensure that your platforms remain or are open. The one thing that we do know is that we are entering a pace of innovation which has never been seen before, not in 2025, 2024, and anywhere else. And the less you can be locked into anything, and the more control, flexibility, and predictability for you to complement your business goals with an open platform is going to be essential to scale correctly.
What is going to be your or foundation's focus or priority this year to help the community navigate this future?
Our role is to provide the infrastructure that companies can use and enjoy OpenSearch in an open way, but they're not in an island by themselves because, of course, enterprises building on an open platform, they still want to know that they're part of the community, that they can get the correct support, the correct versions, the correct security. And this is what the community are going to do that. So our way to navigate users into this future is going to be by giving them a home in the OpenSearch Software Foundation that they can influence a project, they can dictate the project, they can build their own ecosystem within there to ensure that we really flourish and meet our 2026 goals.
Bianca, thank you so much for joining me and share these predictions with us. Bianca, thank you so much for joining us and share these predictions with us. I didn't want to put under pressure, but I would love to have you back on the show at the end of this year to not only get new set of predictions, but also see how many of your predictions turn out to be true. But thanks for your time today, and I look forward to our next discussion.